Nicola Sturgeon will not lift lockdown restrictions in Scotland despite Prime Minister Boris Johnson's plans to potentially lift some restrictions on Monday. The weekly coronavirus death toll in Scotland has fallen for the first time, figures from the National Records of Scotland (NRS) show. But despite this, Nicola Sturgeon will not be changing lockdown measures in the country. The SNP leader explained Scotland may be a few days behind the rest of the UK. Speaking in Holyrood, Ms Sturgeon said, "What the experts tell me is there are no particular set numbers we need to get to, but we need to have confidence in what we do right now so, as we ease restrictions it doesn't go very, very quickly above 1. What I said yesterday is we have to be driven by the evidence and it's what I will stick to throughout this. If that evidence tells us that it is too soon to lift any of these restrictions then we must follow that. If there are different experiences in the UK then we have to pay attention to that." Ms Sturgeon said most people who have got in touch with her have said, "Please don't lift this prematurely and risk a resurgence." She told BBC Radio Scotland's Good Morning Scotland programme that polling data shows support for these measures remains very, very high. Ms Sturgeon said, "We're at such a critical moment now. Every day I am able to look at data that says we are going in the right direction, but we haven't gone yet sufficiently in the right direction to be confident that easing up won't send us back. With every day that passes hopefully that position gets stronger and more certain, and so I want to start getting us back to some semblance of normality as quickly as possible, so the more we stick with it in the immediate days ahead, the easier and the quicker that will be." While there have been suggestions the lockdown is fraying, with more people on the roads and large queues at reopened drive-through coffee shops, Ms Sturgeon insisted the public have been magnificent. She added, "Obviously we do as government lots of tracking of public opinion, and that shows, and that is less anecdotal, that support for these measures remains very, very high. But this is the anecdotal bit, most of the people who contact me are saying please don't lift this prematurely and risk a resurgence as opposed to people saying we're so fed up of this we're going to start doing what we like. These will always be very careful balances but I have to try and reach the best possible decisions based on all of the evidence, and it will be a balance. Lockdown measures are due to be reviewed formally on Thursday, but Ms Sturgeon has already warned it is unlikely significant changes will be made, stressing the need to make sure at this critical juncture we don't take action that could send the progress we are making into reverse. She said even when rules are eased, measures such as social distancing and wearing face coverings where appropriate will be even more important. A total of 2,795 deaths involving the virus had been recorded as of May 3, with the proportion of coronavirus deaths recorded in care homes rising on last week to 59%. The figures are published weekly and account for all fatalities registered in Scotland where COVID-19 is mentioned on the death certificate.